They say you can't have it all, but for a while, I was convinced I'd proven them wrong. My name's Elise. I'm 28, and for 4 glorious months, I thought I'd nailed the perfect balance in life. I had this incredible setup that felt like something out of a movie. There was Lucas, a ridiculously charming finance guy who worked in a glass tower in the heart of Riverfront City. We had this electric, no-strings-attached thing going, fancy dinners at chic restaurants, sparks that could light up the night, and no heavy expectations. Then there was Milo, my ex of 7 years, who I'd stayed best friends with after we parted ways about a year ago. People always side-eye staying close with an ex, but Milo and I just worked as friends. We'd meet for brunch every Sunday, text nonstop, and call each other to vent or laugh about life. He knew me better than anyone, like he had a map to my soul. When I started seeing Lucas, I was straight up with him about Milo. I told him we hung out weekly, that we were tight, and Lucas just shrugged with a smile. "Sounds good," he said, and I loved that vibe. No possessiveness, no drama, just freedom to keep my friendship with Milo while diving into this thrilling new connection with Lucas. It was ideal. Milo and I stuck to our routine: Sunday brunches, daily texts, long calls when the world felt heavy. Sure, sometimes I wondered if Milo and I might one day find our way back to each other, but for now, everything clicked perfectly. Lucas was a dream, witty, generous, and incredible in every way that mattered. Milo was my rock, the one who knew every scar and story from my past. Why should I have to choose? It felt so effortless. I'd spend Sunday morning laughing over pancakes with Milo, then Monday night tangled up with Lucas at his place, and no one was hurt or left out. Lucas got a fun, carefree partner without the weight of a serious relationship, and I got to keep my best friend while exploring something new and exciting. It was the best of both worlds. Lucas never grilled me about Milo or acted jealous. I thought he was just confident, the kind of guy who didn't need to control his partner's friendships. I genuinely believed he was above that insecure nonsense. Then everything changed. 3 weeks ago, Lucas and I were at his loft after an amazing night out. He'd taken me to this upscale Italian place in the Old Quarter, and we'd ended up back at his, basking in the glow of good wine and great chemistry. I was on cloud 9, thinking life couldn't get better. That's when he hit me with it. "I've been thinking," he said, his tone shifting, "I'd like us to get serious. But that means you'd need to stop seeing Milo." I laughed, assuming it was a joke. Stop seeing Milo? My best friend, who'd been there through every storm. I explained as calmly as I could that Milo and I were just friends now, that our bond was purely platonic. But Lucas's face stayed serious, almost cold. "I don't date women who have weekly brunch dates with their exes," he said. "I don't hang out with my exes, so I expect the same from you. It's only fair." Fair? This guy I'd known for 4 months thought he could decide who I was allowed to be friends with. I tried to stay rational, explaining how Milo had supported me through the worst moments of my life, how our friendship was sacred, and how cutting him out would be cruel and unnecessary. But Lucas wouldn't budge. He just kept repeating, "If you want to be exclusive with me, Milo's gone." That's my boundary. Like he was offering me a golden ticket instead of an ultimatum. When I told him there was no way I'd ditch a 7-year friendship for a guy I'd been casually seeing for a few months, he just shrugged. "Fine. We'll keep it casual then." Like my feelings were irrelevant. I lost it. I called him out for being controlling, for disguising jealousy as a boundary. I pointed out that healthy relationships thrive on trust, not ultimatums. I even mentioned how he still followed his exes online, liking their posts, and how he'd casually mentioned meeting an old flame for drinks just last month. If that wasn't a double standard, what was? "That's different," he said, without explaining. "Different how? Because he's a man?" The argument exploded. I was desperate to make him see how hypocritical he was being. Milo had never crossed a line, never caused trouble, never even asked about Lucas beyond polite curiosity. Lucas's issue wasn't with Milo, it was with his own insecurities. But instead of facing them, he wanted me to sacrifice my best friend to ease his mind. The more I reasoned, the more stubborn Lucas got, repeating his ultimatum like a robot. "Cut him off, or we stay casual." Like those were my only options. By the end of the night, I was in tears, drained and frustrated, and he just sat there unmoved. He drove me home in silence, and I knew something between us had broken for good. The next few weeks were torture. Lucas stuck to his word. We stayed casual, but everything changed. The fancy dinners turned into cheap takeout. The constant texts became sporadic, cold replies. He went from making me feel desired to treating me like an afterthought. It felt like punishment for standing my ground. I vented to Milo, who was a saint through it all, reminding me that any guy worth my time wouldn't try to control my friendships. "You've known me for 7 years," he said. "You've known him for 4 months. It's not complicated." Milo was right, but it didn't dull the sting. Lucas started taking hours to reply to my texts when he used to respond instantly. He'd make snarky comments about my style or my job, little jabs that hurt more than they should have. He'd drop hints about other women, calling them chill or uncomplicated, like I was some chaotic mess. The worst part was how he'd act warm and charming in person, only to treat me like I was disposable afterward, canceling plans last minute, showing up late without an apology, forgetting things I'd told him that he used to care about. It was like he was showing me exactly how little I meant to him now. Every time I called him out, he'd turn it back on me. "This is what you chose," he'd say. "You know what it takes to get more." It was maddening, like I was wrong for wanting basic respect. Things hit a breaking point last week when we ran into Lucas's friend Caleb at a brewery in the East Side District. Caleb was there with his long-term partner, and they were adorable planning their weekend, sharing laughs like a real team. I caught Lucas watching them, and for a moment, I thought he might see what we could have had if he'd just been reasonable. But then Caleb asked if we were official, and Lucas didn't hesitate. "Nah, Elise has too much baggage for that." Baggage? He called my friendship with Milo baggage, right in front of me, like I wasn't even there. I faked a smile to avoid a scene, but I was livid. As soon as Caleb left, I tore into Lucas. How dare he call my friendship baggage? How dare he make me sound like a problem when he was the one being unreasonable? He just shrugged. "Well, isn't it baggage? You're stuck in the past, Elise." I let him have it. I called him manipulative, said he was using our casual status to treat me like garbage while dangling something more just out of reach. I told him any secure man wouldn't care about a platonic friendship. I said he was probably intimidated by Milo's respect and kindness, unlike his behavior. Lucas just sat there, calm as ever, and said, "You're proving my point. You're more invested in defending him than in us." Like standing up for myself was wronged. We haven't spoken since. I thought I'd feel free, but life had more surprises. A month later, I heard through Caleb's partner that Lucas was dating someone drama-free from his office. It hurt, but I could handle it. What I couldn't handle was Milo pulling away. He'd been my rock through the Lucas mess, but suddenly he was distant, dodging texts and canceling brunches. When I confronted him, he dropped a bomb. He'd been seeing someone, Nora, for 2 months, and he thought he was falling for her. "I didn't want to upset you during the Lucas stuff," he said. "But Nora's not okay with our closeness, and I need to respect that."
Nora.
Some woman he'd known for weeks was now calling the shots. I reminded him I'd lost Lucas to protect our friendship, and now he was abandoning me. He said he understood my pain, but had to focus on his future. A future without me, his best friend of 7 years. I asked why Nora could control his friendships when I never did. He claimed it was his choice, that he wanted something real. With her 5 months later, I'm alone in a way I never imagined. Lucas is posting happy photos with his new girlfriend, who probably thinks friendships like mine are weird. Milo moved in with Nora after 3 months and blocked me after I sent messages about how betrayed I felt. My friends are tired of my story, telling me to move on, but they don't get it. I did nothing wrong. I stood up for my friend and lost everything. Last week, I saw Lucas at a cafe near my office. He looked happy, like I'd never existed. He gave me a polite nod and turned away, like our 4 months meant nothing. I'm still piecing together how it all went wrong when all I did was refuse to be controlled. Maybe you really can't have it all.